Yep.
All right. What's up, team? One thing that we're working on as far as continuing our coaches' education and just professionalizing ourselves as a gym is just creating a standard of coaching that we all uphold. So we are going to be working on standardized movement demos and kind of how we want to see things taught. But we got to first start with a system about how we approach demoing and explaining and coaching as a whole, right? So this is specifically for while we're up at the whiteboard, where we're talking about the workout and we're demoing and we're explaining our movements. We want some consistency and we want some guardrails to just help us as coaches make sure that we're delivering a great class and a great product. So anytime we're talking about a movement or demoing a movement, all right, we always want to make sure that we're first explaining what a perfect starting position looks like and what a perfect finishing position looks like, right? A lot of times we get caught up in the actual movement part, but if our athletes don't understand where to start and where to finish, doesn't matter how much we talk about the middle portion, they're never going to get there, right? So if we start at the beginning, start at the end, the middle is going to take care of itself. An easy way to ensure that we're able to do that as we're talking about the starting position or the finishing position is just start with the feet every single time. A lot of times we think about, oh, I got to talk about all this stuff, I got to touch on all these points. It can get very unorganized and you might miss something, or you may not be able to drive something home that you wish you could. If we just simply always talk about what the feet are going to do, what the knees are going to do, what the hips are going to do, and so far up the system, right, is just a very organized and simple way to keep us on task and make sure that we touch on everything that we want to touch on. As we go from there, we move into the actual movement part, the actual points of performance that we want to touch on after we've discussed the perfect starting point and after we've discussed the perfect finish point. We only want to tell them what we want them to do. So a lot of times we want to think about, all the faults that could happen. Hey, when we're squatting, we don't want the knees to come in. When we're deadlifting, we don't want the back to round. We don't want to put those bad vibes out there, right? We just simply want to tell them what we want them to do and then release them to go do it, okay? Which leads us to our last point. When they're doing it is our time for correction, okay? Up here at the whiteboard is not our time to correct a movement fault. It's not our time to correct if somebody's doing something wrong. We are simply explaining to them what we want to happen. As they're doing it, as they're doing the workout or the strength portion, our job as coaches is to then go around and correct a faulty movement pattern or to give them advice and to give them help to be more successful in that movement, not up here, all right? So again, this is just a very basic structure that anytime we talk about a movement, it helps us stay organized, it helps us stay on task, and it helps us be consistent across all coaches in order to deliver a good, consistent product.